with gin joints and...
Too busy living.
I watched sea beams.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
Okay, before I get going on this review of Hollywood Stargirl, I have to apologize first. When I first saw Hollywood Stargirl right after it came out on June 3rd, I made a comment in the comment section of one of my reactions and said, it is a dreadful movie and it is boring. This is not a dreadful movie. That was unfair of me to say that. It is not even a bad movie. It's not a great movie. I say obviously, it's not a great movie. It's an okay movie. It's a good movie. It's a good enough movie. It's a sweet slice of life kind of movie. Has no major drama, no major tension. Has a little bit of drama and tension in it, but it's nothing to write grandma about. But it's got some moments in it. It's got several nice moments in it. I've teared up 2 or 3 times. I watched it again a little while ago, my second time. That's not the reason I'm taking back what I said about it being dreadful. I'd already made up my mind that it wasn't dreadful before I watched it a second time a little while ago. So here's the reason that I called it dreadful, because I've been trying to figure this out over the last couple of days. Why the hell did I say that it was that? And the reason is it was an emotional reaction by comparison. The first Stargirl had a lot of problems. A little bit schmaltzy, a little bit, cliches, school cliches. The sound wasn't of Stargirl on the field wasn't loud enough for the people in the stands to hear. Lots of little problems. The acting was off occasionally, not great occasionally. So it had its little things. But the one thing about the original Stargirl was that it was profound. It was about identity. Squelching identity, getting that identity back, abandoning your identity to become Susan.
Do you still want to go with me later?
To Tucson?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course I do. Susan.
And then getting it back in one of the greatest moments in cinema, on stage.
I don't know why I was giving that speech. I don't know why I do a lot of things lately.
And Leo, is he going to get up on the stage and sing Just What I Needed in front of everybody and then put his dad tie back on and be Leo again? But there are several poignant moments about identity in the original Stargirl. Was the acting as good as the acting on this one? Maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure it really matters. They're comparable, even with Grace Vanderwaal. I think she did a great job acting in the original one. But I've seen many people, including Grace Vanderwaal fans, who thought she didn't do very good. I thought her acting was stupendous. Just what it was called for in the original Stargirl. But the second Stargirl doesn't have that kind of profundity on the line, that kind of world-shaking drama on the line. The one thing about Stargirl, the first one and the second one, is that Stargirl isn't the primary focus of either film. Neither film is about Stargirl. Stargirl is the catalyst. She's the pristine, almost genuine and almost perfect soul in a way. Almost perfect soul. That catalyzes everybody else in her life to feel that, to see that, to reflect on who they are, to think about who they are. And so you have all of these formulas, these people who are catalyzed by the Stargirl, crucible. And they start changing. because she has that kind of profound effect on people. So it's about the other people in the films. So it's in the first one, it's about Leo mainly. It starts out, the voiceover from Leo. He's talking about his life. It's about Leo. Stargirl's the girl that comes in from the cosmos, and lights up his life. And it's extraordinary what she does to people. And the nice twist in the original is that Stargirl herself loses her way, and she's going to go ahead and become Susan. So in the original Stargirl, there are two profound moments when Stargirl is in that room and she's being interviewed, and the sister of the brother crippled brother whom she returned the bike to, goes off on her.
Did you even know why the bike was there? Yeah. Here we are.
And your heart goes out to Stargirl. And the acting there, by the way, by Grace Vanderwaal, I was a puddle of tears watching that. I don't want anybody telling me her acting wasn't great. I'm tempted to say I've never seen better. Maybe that's going too far. But it was deeply emotional. So that scene. And then you've got the identity scene with her on stage when she's during the speech contest.
The next time that you see a flower sticking up out of the ground or in a vase, just remember that part of what makes it beautiful is how long it took to grow.
Again, I'm a puddle of tears. The reason I'm a puddle of tears, and many of you were puddles of tears, was because of the whole identity crisis that's involved in that. And this movie, Hollywood Stargirl, doesn't have that. You've got changes in the 5 people who are around her. You got the curmudgeon Mitchell. You've got the jaded Roxanne. You've got Stargirl's mom, Anna. And then, of course, you've got Evan and Tyrell. So, but the first 3 of those do get changed by Stargirl. But the amount of change, it's not as profound a change as Leo and the girl there at the end of the first Stargirl who had berated Stargirl and was the sister of the brother. That look on her face. Yeah, she realizes, you could see it on her face, she went too far in what she did to Stargirl. It was unfair. And the acting there by both Grace Vanderwaal and the girl, and I'll have her name up on the screen, is extraordinary. And the directing by Julia Hart was extraordinary as well. But that's another profound moment in that movie. So in this Hollywood Stargirl, we don't have those kinds of moments. You've got the curmudgeon who softens up and gets close to Stargirl.
And you gave me something that I thought only existed in pictures.
What?
Well, suddenly, I'm the guy that wants to know everything.
And you've got Roxanne, who has found maybe somebody who's got the kind of quality and artistic ability that she had, and maybe she'll become a mentor and find her true self again.
But you loving my album reminded me of something.
What?
That just because it doesn't look like you thought it would, doesn't mean you're not living your dream.
And the mom, I mean, Stargirl is the adult in that relationship.
I think about how hard it must be to have a kid. And how much harder it must be to do it alone.
You think about that?
Sometimes, yeah.
I know 40-year-olds who don't think about that.
And the mom, of course, in that whole scene there with Stargirl, saying that I'm proud of you, you're just so amazing. It's a great scene. But again, it's Stargirl leading the way, being the catalyst for somebody to change. But the changes in this movie are not as profound, because there's not the extraordinary societal school pressure of insisting on you not being yourself. These people made choices. These older people made choices. So it's softened up a little bit. I love it. I love the fact that Mitchell does what he does. And I love the fact that Roxanne starts loving Stargirl and helps her and Evan and Tyrell produce that song. Those are great moments. But not as profound as in the first movie. So because Grace Vanderwaal is in Hollywood Stargirl, I'm probably going to do a scene-by-scene analysis of the movie on my Patreon account. And you're looking at on the screen in front of you what that is, in case you want to go over there and help me out and become a subscriber. And I've got a bunch of extra stuff that I do over there on Grace and the Beatles and others as well. But in the meantime, I want to say something positive, a couple of things positive about this movie. It is a feel-good movie. At the end, you're smiling. You know, there's been a couple of teary episodes there, especially with Mitchell and Roxanne and Stargirl. And the acting overall is quite good. I loved Grace Vanderwaal in this. I really liked Mitchell, Judd Hirsch. And I thought that Tyrell, whose name is Tyrell Jackson Williams, I thought he did a good job. I thought Elijah was pretty good and Judy Greer was pretty good. But I think it was Judd and Uma Thurman and Grace who did the best job. So I thought the acting was really good on this. I thought the directing, cinematography was quite well done on this. Going back face to face, the bar scenes were terrific. And that, of course, is hats off to Julia Hart and to the cinematographer Bryce Fortner. And the music was really well done on this as well. Some of them actually written for the film itself. Michael Penn, Rob Simonson, and Duncan Blickenstaff. Although the best song on this is Figure It Out by Grace Vanderwaal. So, which I've come to absolutely love, and I might get into that here in a little bit. Okay, so those were nice things, but the two big problems on this movie revolving around drama and tension are, first, the romantic relationship.
I like to kiss you, for real. Is that okay?
It is okay.
Okay.
It just doesn't work. There's no chemistry there between them. They're both very nice people, but even when they're kissing, there are no sparks.
chance.
Like, for instance, the high school TV series Veronica Mars, between Veronica and Logan. I mean, that was scintillating. That was amazing. But it's just not here. It looks forced. So Evan and Stargirl, it just seems made up. It seems like, well, that we have to have a romantic relationship. But personally, who I wanted Stargirl to get with was Tyrell. Tyrell had a just off the charts character. He was the producer director, and he had that sort of a mature feel about him that Grace Stargirl has. This was a problem I had with the original Stargirl. Leo he was a great kid, but he just didn't measure up to Stargirl. She was so much more mature. And the same thing here. Evan just sort of seems like, hey man, kind of happy-go-lucky and everything else. He's a sweet guy, no doubt about it, but he just doesn't measure up to Stargirl. His older brother does. That's where I wanted it to go. When they were having ice cream out there on the cliff, I was hoping, I knew it wouldn't happen, but I was hoping that would happen. So your romantic relationship just doesn't happen in this. I mean, it's just not good. It's forced. But the primary thing is the writing. The writing on this, done by Julia Hart and Jordan Horowitz, is just not good in many places. As an example, they're close to the beginning. I mean, they're in the car. They're in the car. And it's pretty boring in the car. Okay. Grace sort of has ennui, we're having to move again, everything else. She doesn't seem very happy. Contrast this with the first Stargirl, where Leo is in the band and he sees this mysterious figure out on a ledge. Now that's an opening. After his monologue, now that's an opening. Who is this girl? Well, here it's kind of a thump, and so a thump starts out the movie. Okay, that said, the writers have so many instances where they can actually give some verve to this movie, give some sparkle to it, give some pluckiness to it. One of the examples, I'm not going to go through them all. I'll do that on my Patreon review. But one of those examples is the Romeo and Juliet scene, 5 or 6 minutes in. And Stargirl and her mom, Anna, have already been told that there's a grumpy guy downstairs below them, in their flat upstairs. Stargirl's jumping around, singing that song, and she's got the kazoo. It's great. My favorite parts of this movie involve Grace Vanderwaal and the music. I'll get to that here in a minute. So she's dancing around. It's so much fun. She's so much fun to watch, having fun, and it's good music. And then the pebbles on the window, and then she opens up the window.
You're good. I said I like the way you sing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, I'm Evan.
I'm Stargirl.
Cool name.
Thank you.
I live over there.
Oh, so you're the youngest one.
What?
Your mom, she said
What's
something.
going on out here?
Okay, here's a chance for the writers to do something different. But instead, we get boring dialogue. Who are you? Who are you? Just stuff like this. Instead of Grace having, as the French say, savoir-faire. I know how to handle situations. I'm good in a social environment, which she shows throughout this movie. So why not have her have a little bit of fun? Seriously. And I'm not trying to rewrite the movie. I'm just trying to show how they could have made this more interesting. Grace opens up the window and says, it's kind of late, isn't it, Romeo? Acknowledging the conceit of the scene. Because it's a conceitful scene. You know? And he looks up and says, whatever. You know, he's like, Juliet, I love the way you sing. You know, have some fun with that scene. And then while they're doing this, a couple of more good lines, their curmudgeon Mitchell comes out the front door.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Mitchell. Sorry.
Well, just text her.
I don't have her number.
I don't have a phone.
What do you think this is, a movie?
Oh, she's our new neighbor.
Yeah, I gather. Since he's in the apartment just above my head.
Hi. I'm Stargirl.
Yeah, of course you are. Just keep it down. That's all I'm asking, all right? There's not a lot to do, all right?
The problem, this was set up because they were told, Grace and her mom were told about the curmudgeon. So now, because the camera's back, we're looking at the front door. We know he's coming out. So he comes out. So it ruins our anticipation. It takes the edge off of what he's going to say. If we had never been told about him, they're talking. It's a clever exchange. There's some sparks flying. All of a sudden, somebody interferes, and we're like, "Who the hell is that?" And and give him some better lines. Also, make him a really hardcore curmudgeon. That's another problem I have with the movie, is that Mitchell isn't crusty enough. But have him say some crusty things, maybe even a couple of mean things, you know? And he goes back inside. And Stargirl looks down at Romeo, at Evan, and says, "Who is that?" And he goes, "That's Mitchell. He's a fun guy." You know, something, whatever. Give some energy to the scene. Give some electricity to the scene. It's the way it's written, it's so boring. You know, and then she comes down, she meets Evan. You're not really impressed with Evan's sort of character in anything. I mean, he's kind of, to my perspective, he's kind of a boring guy. His brother, as I said, is so much more interesting. And that's a flaw in the movie. Okay. But getting to the music, my favorite scene in this movie, I think, outside of a couple of tearful scenes with Grace and nice, funny or tearful scenes with Grace and Mitchell and Grace and Roxanne, is that scene in the bar where Grace and Evan are creating Figure It Out. That is so well done. It actually shows them creating the song. Shoots back to Roxanne and Iggy, the proprietor of the place, you know, watching. We have people watching. We are them watching what's happening. Grace asking for the guitar.
Roxanne? Can I? Yeah. Thank you. Can you play that chord, like the new one?
Oh, yeah.
Roxanne says, okay. Grace gets on the guitar, says, you know that note? You know, and the way that whole thing plays out is so organic and so nicely done. Wow. Just wow.
And then can we go back to that one melody that we had?
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
This'll be the chorus. It's gonna be a really good chorus. We'll just figure it out as we go. And then back to the thing that. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, and just figure it out as we go.
Ooh, I like that.
Guys, stop.
What? What?
Come on.
Told you.
You're always right, Roxy.
This isn't right.
Hey, I know you're used to talking to people however you feel like
It's gonna
it.
need some drums, bass, maybe some other percussion. You need to find some place to record it, right? Playback for your swizzle McGizzle.
Sizzle reel.
Whatever.
We were gonna record it in my apartment. I have some basic stuff.
Oh, do you? Well, listen, Mr. Waiter/director. I respect ambition more than anyone, but I think I know a place that's a little bit better than your apartment.
It's a really nice apartment.
I'm sure it is.
Wait, what?
When it's finished, we'll record it at Sunset Sound. I know some people. Oh, and I did not give you my song because I'm mean. I didn't give it to you because I knew you could write your own. Back to work.
And then in the sound booth, and of course, Roxanne says they can go use that sound booth. That whole scene, and then the intermixing of what's going on in the movie with the soundtrack, with Figure It Out, the sublime song, Figure It Out. Yeah, I'm ready to say that about that song now. That is simply how Grace Vanderwaal does this. I have no idea. How does she do that? And I'd like to know how much the production, how much of the music production was done by her on that, because it was, it wasn't Ito. God, I should know who it was that helped out with that. I'll put it up on the screen. But I'd like to know how much. But anyway, so that whole 5 minutes or 8 minutes or whatever that was my favorite part in the movie. But it says something that's my favorite part, you know? Because all that was a creation experience. It has nothing really to do with the drama or tension of the movie. So if you're calling the music creation scene the best part of your movie, there's a problem with the movie. You know, it'd be like saying that Stargirl out on the field doing her songs was your favorite part of the movie, of the first Stargirl. You know, not her speech, not the thing in the sound booth while, you know, being interviewed on the radio show, not her and Leo at the school when Leo doesn't understand that she doesn't want to be Susan. How about that scene?
Susan,
Were you even listening?
to what?
My speech.
Of course.
That was Stargirl.
So many scenes. But in Hollywood Stargirl, it's the highlight. Because the movie itself is a little bit languid. It's a little bit sort of meandering, slice of life, as I said earlier, and going somewhere. You know, it's going into the making of the movie, which, frankly, we don't really know too much about what it's about. You know, Evan gives that little description there, and we kind of sort of know, but it would be good to have a little bit more meat there as well. But there's a bunch of other little things with it that I sort of had a problem with, but the main thing is the storyline. The storyline is not convulsive, you know? There's not a bunch at stake. Like in the first Stargirl, after she gives that speech, they're driving back in the car. They get back to the school. Her trophies in the glass case at the end of the hallway. All the students get out of class. They don't care. They walk away. And the speech teacher looks over at Stargirl and says something like, "You were phenomenal." But that moment, the poignancy of that moment, and that look on Stargirl's face, great, wonderful acting by Grace Vanderwaal. There, like everywhere. And she knows. She made the right decision on the stage. You got to be you. You can't be anybody else just because somebody else wants you to be.
People aren't happy because they win. They win because they're happy.
Just because Leo doesn't want you to stand out in the crowd at school. But this one, Hollywood Stargirl, doesn't have that, but it's a pleasant movie. So I do definitely, wholeheartedly take back my dreadful comment on the movie. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. It's a pleasant movie. There are other things I'd like to say about it, but I won't say it. I'll save it for the Patreon account because I think I get across enough with this. I do want to say that Uma and Judd Hirsch, again, really stood out to me. Their characters really stood out to me. But it was the storyline that just sort of lacked on this. I didn't really care also that much about the movie. I mean, even as that Hollywood person said, the thing that she talked about was the song. And the song was created by Stargirl, Grace Vanderwaal. So, you know, what value is the script? Evan's script. I mean, it's almost sort of a sideshow in a way because she wanted Stargirl to do another song for the movie, you know? So there's not enough meat there on the script. All right. So I think I've said enough about this. I'll talk more about it on the Patreon thing. So y'all let me know what you think, what you thought about Hollywood Stargirl, and I'll really look forward to those comments. In the meantime, take care of yourselves. Bye now.